When below 40% health, you get a 40% recovery for your HP, while also gaining brief invincibility. The Demolisher, which is her T2 passive skill, not only does she get a chance to penetrate your enemy's defense, but also her skill and bonus damage gain a 30% buff. And then finally, her Dark Premonition skill, her Ignore Dodge rate is increased by 45%, and her critical damage increases by 30%.
All right.
That does it for the passive skills. We're going to move on to the actual skills. First skill looks familiar because it actually is familiar from her Infinity Warm uniform. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is the Chasing Spear. So the reason why it looks just about the same because it basically is the same with a couple minor visual differences. Again, this is a stun and energy attack.
Here.
We're just going to take a look how her actual attack is for her basic. And close up, she actually jumps back away from the enemy and then throws her lances. Skill number 2, which is the Tainted Blow. She jumps in the air, does a few spins. Take a look at it one more time. This bleeding attack also causes stun, and of course, like I mentioned before, a lot of energy damage. And some silence is done as well. Moving on to skill number 3.
Ooh.
I'm going to get a group of people involved because a lot of people were hit with this attack.
That's a light show.
As you can see, she dashes like to and fro like that. This is the Dark Flurry. So this attack is another attack that actually decreases your enemy's defense, causing shock damage. The enemy's guaranteed dodge rate and critical rate increased by 30%. Your guaranteed dodge rate.
It's also mesmerizing.
It's visually appealing.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do our next skill on these little guys over here. This skill is referred to as the Destructive Pierce. So this one takes a little bit of explanation as well. So this is what happens when I just tap it. But the key thing about this one, since everybody's now all grouped together, I'm actually going to push and hold this skill. Which will charge it up.
Wow.
Well,
do it one more time. Do it from this angle here. As I'm charging, I'm going to go ahead and explain that again. So the Destructive Pierce. So after of course doing another bit of shock damage, this attack actually stuns your enemies and removes the active buff on your target. So cool things about this attack is that it pushes, if you push and hold the skill, you'll, of course, as I already mentioned, you'll do a little bit more damage. Additionally, your all attack and defense stats will increase by up to 60%, along with your critical rate and speed. Now, I think these guys have had enough. We're going to go ahead and move on to these guys over here. Move on to skill 5. Can't really see at all what's going on, so I'm actually going to go ahead and they're still hit. Okay, let's try it again.
It's still going.
So she jumps in the air.
Wow.
As you can see, causes another AoE effect. This is the Spear Convergence. Let's see it one more time. This is, as I mentioned, Spear Convergence. Your target's all attack stat is decreased by 30%, and of course, it causes shock damage. In addition to for every second they're actually caught in that little field. They're of course bound, and they're dealt shock damage for every second they are caught within there. So as you can see, what's interesting is that enemies are, as you can see, all the way in the background, everyone's still getting hit. And this attack also gives you a little bit of an HP recovery.
Very good.
So again, just those skills alone, fantastic. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the T3, which is why we're all here. Let's see it. You saw a little bit of this in the actual teaser.
Whoa.
How many hits does it can take? No.
And that agent is referred to as the Obsidian Shockwave. I'm actually going to go ahead and explain that, the perks of that skill real quick. I'm just going to go ahead and regain that.
It's definitely got an aesthetic.
Let me go ahead and go over what the developers recommend. So after using skills 3 and 5, even if you link them with other skills, all attacks are activated. I'm just going to read that one again. So after using skills 3 and 5, even if you link them with other skills, all attacks are activated. So I think it's referring to like all the little after effects that are caused. Like as you can see, all the different spears. Yeah, they're still active. So this gives you plenty of different ways and opportunities to strategically use these skills in combat and on the field. All right. So T3 skills ready. Let's go ahead and reactivate the skill for T3 ability, the Obsidian Shockwave. So in addition to removing active buffs and causing shock damage, it stuns while decreasing your enemy's defense while ignoring the target's dodge rate by 70%. Proxima also gains a percentage of HP recovery, removing all debuffs and increasing your damage for 50% for your next attack.
Very cool.
Right, and that does it for Proxima Midnight's T3.
Thank you so much, Cage. That was very aesthetically pleasing to me.
So Rafe mentioned. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I think you were going to go ahead and mention about. I'll go ahead and mention also. So of course, those of you who already saw, both in the teaser and in the market video, Ebony Maw actually will be receiving an update as well. However, he will actually be. His uniform will not be available just yet. This items are still being worked on, so you'll be able to see him and be able to use his uniform in the mid-month update. His uniform, similar to other outfits, I keep saying outfits, uniforms, similar to other uniforms we've done in the past, is what they actually are called. You can go into the store, you'll actually see the uniform, but it will not be available. There will be a time frame to let you know how many days until the uniform will be available. So just keep an eye on that, and yes, you can take a look at it, but it'll be available later on.
All right. Thanks so much for updating us on that, Cage. But I think there's another feature you might want to talk about, right?
Of course, there is one more feature for those of you who were paying attention to the Supergiant teaser. Of course, as I mentioned, this character hasn't received an update in quite a long time, but now she has, not just as a character and for the uniform, but also in none other than World Boss. That's right, Supergiant will actually be getting a update in World Boss. Okay. When I say World Boss, it's World Boss Ultimate. So before I get into that, we have we have some notes from the devs for what to look out for this particular
book.
For this particular update. So they mentioned that Supergiant in this particular World Boss Ultimate stage, Supergiant actually takes 50% less damage from combat, speed, and blast type characters. So universal characters are the best bet to taking her on. Secondly, Supergiant also has a higher resistance to mind damage. So keep that in mind when planning to use mind characters, when bringing them into battle. So with that said, so be very selective when making your attack, making your character selection. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use it. I just recently received the builds. I haven't had too much time to actually go into it and test it out. As you can see here, I only have the first stage unlocked, and also I don't have too many characters actually available to use on this build, so my strikers will be terrible. So we're going to go ahead and just start with what we have with the Black Order. So I'm going to go ahead and have Proxima be the lead, because also, as we mentioned, universal characters will be doing more damage than combat speed and blast characters. So we're going to go ahead and test it out. Are we going to make it? Possibly not. But like I said, these are only before you get jumped.
Oh no.
Only for the strikers. Those are only the characters I currently have available for this particular build. Yes. So are we going to win? Are we going to lose? We don't know, but we're here to make sure to take that chance.
Cage, classic undersell. Come on now, believe in yourself.
All right, let's take a look. I'm actually going to be using some of the recommended skills. I'm going to go ahead and open up the ult here.
Okay,
There's a lot visually going on here. I should go ahead and open up with some of the skills that the devs actually recommend. We're going to go ahead and use 5 mid and cancel after the spear toss.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I already broke it. I'm waiting for my skills to actually read back. Oh, hang on. I need to start placing your bets now. It's actually going to succeed here. So we're just down to 9 again. This is only skill. This is only like the first stage. So we're gonna try to do the dev's recommended combo. So if I'm running around because aimlessly, it's because I'm trying to do this, show off the dev's recommended skill rotations. All right, let's try this again. So 5, cancel after the spear toss, move on to 3, and then immediately cancel afterwards.
Okay.
And my skills are actually just muted first. So we're just gonna do the T3. just end it.
You know what? Let's just do the T3.
There you have it.
No, it isn't just stage 1.
So unfortunately,
we
didn't get to show the other characters in their full potential. That was done on purpose. We wanted to make sure to give you guys a little something to try for yourself for when the build goes live later this week. So that does it for the different features.
All right, thank you so much, Cage. Well, 1 sec. Okay, or not.
You okay?
Yes. So let's get into back into some of the questions that we asked the audience earlier, if we can. And that question in particular was, which member of the Black Order is your favorite? Cage, you've been teasing your answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say my personal favorite was definitely Black Dwarf. Because, be honest, when it came to the Black Order, because when they were added into the game, it was definitely before my time. So the Black Dwarf is definitely my favorite because there's a lot more that goes into this character. Because, for example, he wasn't just the muscle. He's a bit of a poet at heart. For example, I don't know if many players are aware of the love triangle that kind of went on, because actually Black Dwarf was actually interested in Proxima Midnight as well, in addition to Corvus. Not to say Black Dwarf was interested in Proxima Midnight. Both Corvus and both brothers were interested in Proxima Midnight. But in the end, he went ahead, went ahead and let Corvus proceed with that. And yeah, so he has a heart of gold, but he's not just all muscle. So I just thought it was a unique character trait, seeing how intellectual he was after reading the different comic issues relating to the Black Order.
Yeah.
So
do you relate to him?
Big tall person who actually has a heart. Maybe. I don't know why, but I think he just reaches out to me a bit more. What was your favorite?
All right. Anyone but Ebony Maw. Just kidding. I think I like Corvus Glaive. I mean, yes, he is the leader. He is Thanos' favorite one. But I think there's a lot more that he thinks about, and I think his strategies are really good. I do know that Black Dwarf thinks of himself as a good strategist, but I think Corvus Glaive has got him beat.
He likes you.
Mm-hmm.
What about our audience? What are some of the agents?
Well, let's get to them. Ernesto Nicholas says Proxima Midnight with dark obsidian armor. Very good. Heart emoji. Corey M. Turner says Corvus. Robert Adams says Proxima and Maw. I mean, I was joking earlier when I said anyone but Maw. It's because Ebony Maw cannot be trusted, and I need a trustworthy character on my side. I'm always going to be thinking about them and staring at them and wondering when's that betrayal.
Come on.
He does have some pretty epic hair in this current update.
Well, there you go. I mean, hair counts for how many points? Maybe more than honesty. Shaz, JR7, again, please forgive me if I mispronounced your name, says Ebony Maw, best Black Order character, perhaps for one of those reasons we just said. Moran Choco says, my fave Black Order character is Black Dwarf because he is big. So, Cage, there's more